It's a rare thing to find an artist that has a singular vision with everything they touch. Kanye West is one of them. An idea never goes amiss in his eyes. He aims to evolve and perfect that concept, and a perfect example is his magnum opus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. An extravagant experience that unravels Kanye's disarrayed, unrealistic desires, his dissatisfaction with his public persona, and his manic frustration towards society and systematic racism, all the while transcending hip-hop traditions and pushing the genre to a new era. But this breakthrough came about after a tumultuous 2 years for Kanye. His mother passed away, ended a long-term engagement with his fiancée, 808 and Heartbreaks not receiving the acclaim he wanted, and of course the Taylor Swift incident. Kanye effectively went into a self-imposed exile in Hawaii and put all his energy into making a polished final product. Not only did he focus on the music, he had his hand in filmmaking as well, in which he directed a short film dubbed Runaway, which accompanies the album. The visuals tell a strange, seemingly unrelated narrative of Kanye and a celestial phoenix woman he rescues from the ashes of a comet. He's exposed to both the beauty and the cruel misunderstanding of the world. It's an elegant yet elegiac piece with dense imagery that begs to be picked apart.
So I am headed home.
Kanye takes and transforms. Whether it's with sampling or his fashion ideas, he's heavily influenced by the art he consumes. Stanley Kubrick is someone who he admires a lot. He takes cues from Kubrick's relentless perfectionism.
I'm like super inspired by Kubrick. I always say like none of these guys have the balls that Kubrick has. You know, like Eyes Wide Shut inspired Runaway. How about that? Like, you know how many directors come to me and be like, Runaway got me into doing films.
When Kanye was toying with the ideas for this album, the tone and atmosphere led him straight to Eyes Wide Shut. More specifically, the nighttime odyssey Tom Cruise has in the film. This abstract ambience is very apparent in the short film, where Kanye goes on a similar journey, lost in lust, obsessed with his creativity, and finding himself within the fame. To build this piece, he brought on collaborators that are experienced in high art. He had some lessons in directing when he worked with Michel Gondry on Heard 'Em Say, and Spike Jonze with Flashing Lights and We All Want a Fairy Tale, two modern surrealists. Vanessa Beecroft was hired as the art director, famous for her large-scale, conceptual performance art. He commissioned artist George Kondo to create potential art for the album cover, firmly putting in place the visual landscape Kanye wanted to follow. A black man straddled by a naked white female creature was deemed too controversial for the masses, and ended up being blurred for the final product. But this composition is key to understanding the idea behind it all. The Phoenix is a Greek mythological figure that takes its power from the last bird when it dies, and is reborn as something new, representing the idiom living and learning. The Phoenix embodies Kanye's career and artistry, constantly learning from his mistakes while showcasing his creativity, the natural and instinctive side of himself. Kanye takes his muse and shows her what this realm was all about. The film starts off rather aptly with the famous Lacrimosa, a section from Mozart's Requiem. This is the last contribution to music Mozart laid his pen to, ultimately dying without fully realizing it. It's important to note that Kanye actually thought about killing himself before the making of this album. He might have played around with the idea of legacy and how meaningful his contribution to art was. We recognize Lacrimosa, but what will Kanye West be remembered for? This plays over a cold open, with his lonely self running towards the camera. Is he chasing perfection? Is he running from death? Is he going after his creativity? Who knows? After the title, we get into Dark Fantasy, a song that showcases the fame that most people think of, but that's foreshadowed by Nicki Minaj's revamped recital of Roald Dahl's take on Cinderella in his book Revolting Rhymes.
You might think you've peeped the scene. You haven't. The real one's far too mean. The watered down one, the one you know.
It acts as a warning, more of a cautionary tale more than anything, that the trip we're about to embark on will show us the true fate of Kanye's fame.
Yeah.
We're introduced to this mythical, dreamlike world, draped in pastel colours, a misty and hallucinatory atmosphere. Kanye, or the name is given in the film, Griffin, rides a sports car down a windy road through a forest. He's confident and braggadocious, rapping about the fruits of fame he indulges in. He sees fame as a glamorous ball, just like Cinderella.
I fantasize about this back in Chicago. Mercy, mercy me, that mercy a Lago. That's
Unbeknownst to him, a pulsating comet is on his way to the realm. We see a herd of deer roam around as well. That's the dull-eyed naivety of Kanye right now, only thinking about the excesses that are laid upon him. The comet gets closer and closer and crashes into his car. Specks of fire are dotted around the broken car, where Kanye gets out and stumbles on a phoenix as the song enters the bridge.
At the border with a seance. Just kids, no parents.
It was highly melodic. Now the sounds are brooding and mysterious. The seance implies that there's something supernatural going on. There was destruction, but it also marks a new beginning for him, symbolic of a phoenix. Same way Kanye's life was changed after his accident back in 2003, something otherworldly has changed Kanye in the film, and he carries her to safety in a striking silhouette. This sounds like a start of a beautiful journey, but we know that it will never last. Next morning, the Phoenix wakes to the news covering the aftermath of the event. She's confused and frightened. She can't comprehend what's happening on the news, much like Kanye's relationship with the media, full of misunderstanding and underestimating influence. He's a victim of the news, and they don't always tell the truth, and he delivers one of his most telling lines.
First rule in this world, baby, don't pay attention to anything you see in the news.
The electronic guitar riff kicks in, and we see the Phoenix sitting in a small, lush, biblical Garden of Eden-esque courtyard as she examines a new world she landed in, symbolic of Kanye's first encounters with fame, exposing him to a stunning and seemingly perfect world which he had never seen or imagined before. Kid Cudi's chorus toys with his idea.
Ain't no question if I want it, I need it.
This is the crisis that most artists deal with. Do you want the fame, but also deal with the downsides of it? Is it worth seducing her? The lyrics that follow are far from gorgeous. Kanye chronicles the social injustice in America.
Penitentiary chances, the devil dances and eventually answers to the call of autumn. All them falling for the love of balling.
He's inside looking tepidly at the childlike Phoenix, who is largely dissonant to the harsh realities of what's going on in the world. She lacks the foresight to delve deeper into this new world's issues, like many around this country. With all that's going on, he sees how attractive and delightful fame is. But is that the only thing needed to achieve the American dream, when the country itself is unjust in so many ways? Now that he's set on her, he wants to create. Back inside, Kanye is experimenting with the MPC 2000 XL production center, playing an alternate rendition of Power. The Phoenix is entranced by the sounds he's making. As more instruments enter, she finds her groove, slowly rises and connects to the sound sonically. It's a more somber version to the one on the album. He squeezes out the emotions with the strings. The way it's edited, it seems as if Kanye is giving primal life into her, as the beauty of his creation takes stride, like Frankenstein awakening his monster. It feels as if this house and the courtyard represents his headspace, and every time he conjures up his creative spark, he brings to life something mystical and transcendent. She's his creative force, his spirit animal, his muse. He's keeping her happy, the perfect representation of Kanye's producing career and what he's accomplished over time. We cut to a young African-American boy running towards the camera with a red smoke flare, which transitions into all of the lights. A song where Kanye tackles the struggles of having personal problems in the public eye through the lens of a troubled family.
Turn up the lights in here, baby. Extra bright, I want y'all to see this.
The fireworks light up the sky, revealing everything underneath. The problems that Rihanna highlights in the chorus. An eccentric parade appears that Kanye orchestrated for the Phoenix's enjoyment and is filled with contrasting imagery. A sculpture of Michael Jackson is hoisted in the air while members of the KKK surround the procession. The band members act like the gatekeepers of Michael Jackson's divisive image, while the hooded group who surround them are the Nazarenos, who are known for celebrating fallen saints. It was a media circus when Michael Jackson died, and getting to know the true nature of a megastar seemed impossible through the news. The white and dark angels stand beside Michael's head, showing the duality of fame. He extends that to the tribulations of himself.
I did that time and spent that bread. I'm headed home, I'm almost there.
He did his time in isolation, reflecting on what he did, and returns to the hip-hop game to see other artists taking the spotlight. How quickly people forget you and write you off as crazy. The ugly energy of the media. Embedded in this segment, there's a reminder of how the black voice and ideas are suppressed. The child at the start is running alone and free from controlled thinking. But by the end, he wears the same red mask. He's captured. His imagination has been shut down by society, conforming to the slave mentality and how the media wants you to think, something Kanye feels so strongly about. The procession seems extravagant, but the spectrum of symbols gives it an unsettling impression. The way they look on in wonderment and excitement, they try to find the beauty in the darkness. We then see the two at a dinner table. The Phoenix observes the foreign thing carefully. She's slowly starting to integrate in society. We're introduced to a warehouse where there seems to be a grand feast taking place, complemented by a luxurious beat that clearly underlines his status. Kanye walks with confidence alongside his Phoenix, and we cut to the attendees who look in awe and in confusion. They don't feel welcomed. It's almost alienating. The reaction they get can be seen as a symbol of the black community's criticism of Kanye's relationship with his art. He's always pushing boundaries and wants his image and art to be known to the elites. The composition is reminiscent of wealthy plantation homes in early southern US, but the roles are distinctly reversed. This is his desire of an authoritative African elite that overcomes societal norms that is inherent of Caucasian power.
Put your hands to the constellations. The way you look should be a sin. You my sensation.
The song, on the other hand, is him contemplating all the obscene thoughts his girl tempts him with, all the while going through the motions of becoming famous. She loses faith in God as the song goes on and melds into a different person. The way the camera pans resembles the Last Supper.
How she gon' wake up and not love me no more? I thought I was the asshole. I guess it's rubbing off.
Maybe it's him that's the problem. It's a troubled phase in his life. Is he talking about the Phoenix, how much he loves his own creativity, or is he talking about a woman from personal experience? The upper class vibe of the setting gives off a shallow and materialistic world, one fixated on sex, drugs, alcohol and possessions. Kanye feels like he's falling off the deep end into this ugly nightmare. The Phoenix offers something to the wealthy, but they don't care about the individual. Once they settle in, a member from the gathering talks to Kanye.
Your girlfriend is really beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you know she's a bird?
No, I never noticed that.
His response might sound like he's in denial, but to me he sounds sarcastic. The wealthy giving empty compliments is something he loathes. He knows the Phoenix is different from the rest. He's exposing his soul and art to the masses for them to appreciate, but instead they point and stare. Kanye can't handle the disrespect. He needs to show how he feels. The cut to the high angle where he walked to the lone piano is iconic. He presses a key and plays an isolated, sparse repetition of it, roughly the tempo of a heartbeat, an idea lifted straight from Eyes Wide Shut. We come to the titular song, his 9-minute prog rock-esque magnum opus that lays his soul out for the world to see. The scope is enormous, and it fits with the lyrical self-reflection that's on show, of his insecurity, his remorse, his undying ego. It's a warning to everyone close to him. His recurring habits will be the destruction of relationships, so you might as well run away now. The ballet dancers flock to the floor, all dressed in black, representing his soul in physical form. It's like Tchaikovsky's ballet Swan Lake, where the main protagonist has to choose between the righteous white ballet dancer and the evil black ballet dancer. Kanye chooses the black ballerinas because he can't fit into the real world like every other artist. You can note 4 dancers with pink shoes, and I think they each represent his insecurity, arrogance, remorse, and sorrow. He knows he's not perfect. He puts hard work into his craft and is neglecting the ones close to him. He makes a toast to these workaholics, the people who grind for success, because he understands the sacrifices of a hard-working douchebag.
See, I can have me a good girl and still be addicted to them hood rats.
He could be talking about his personal relationships with women, but the good girl he talks about is his career. He could go down the respectable path, but still be addicted to the controversy, most likely leading to the Taylor Swift incident. Kanye isn't out to apologize on this song. He can't change the way he is. The culture needs to learn to live with him or run away. He's pouring out his feelings on the bridge, even tuning into his rare singing voice.
Run away from me, baby. Run away.
But the dinner guests are occupied with themselves, while only his muse watches on. He's reaching out to those in the black community who doesn't respect his art. But to enjoy and understand his art, you need to be an eccentric too, like the Phoenix.
Admit it. Now pick your next move, you can leave or live with it. Ichabod Crane with that motherfucking top off.
Pusha T comes in with a killer verse, taking the cliche of sex, money and power and stripping away the glamour from them. Ichabod Crane is the headless main character from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and likens himself to Crane's greedy self. He became a legend because of his cowardice, and Pusha wanting all the wealth while being afraid of a rocky relationship is something a gluttonous artist would do. As the song goes on, Pusha T peels the layers back of his toxic relationship, displayed by the dancers dancing in slow motion, seeing everything in closer detail. His girl stays because of the money, his materialism pushes him further into this douchebag status, his pride takes precedent over everything else. The side of fame that everyone loves to hate, even though they want a part of it. It then transitions into a remorseful Kanye.
And I don't know how I'ma manage if one day you just up and leave.
He finally faces his flaws and blames himself for the failure of this relationship. He tries to make amends, but it's too late. It's tragic, but he had it coming. We get a gentle zoom in on his muse. From the slight glow in her face, we can see that she's understanding of his imperfect self, while the others on the table still see the image of him created in the media. The reason why this song stands above the rest in the genre is because of its unique structure. Kanye could have easily tied the bow in this song at this moment, where the themes and the ideas are fully explored, but he decides to have a 3-minute outro where literally nothing is said, because the only thing you hear is his voice through a vocoder, sounding like a distorted guitar. The dancers freeze. We go from showcasing the many facets of his soul to a singular dancer during this segment. This is the basic part of him that the media sees and hears, well-intentioned words that get lost in translation because Kanye isn't the greatest public speaker. The dancers that represent the insecurity, arrogance, remorse and sorrow each take center stage because the media sees him as a simpleton and not the complex web of emotions he really has from the core of the song. We can hear the melody of the chorus coming through. We know what he's saying, but the words are hazy. The dancers evoke every ounce of emotion from the mumblings, with the strings continuing that sorrow ambience, and the piano notes that feel like tears falling. It's a plea for someone to literally hear him out. The song ends and the dancers make their exit. That's finally when the others notice and give an applause, but it feels like a pity clap. They just stared during the crux of the song, but it's only when he's incomprehensible that the masses want to cheer him on. This 9-minute exploration paints a larger picture of the nuance, darkness and beauty of a troubled artist. Kanye is still human after all. He sits back down on the table again and is served the main course, a giant full-feathered bird. The Phoenix lets out a piercing scream, scaring everyone away, while the abrasive production of the song kicks in. Meanwhile, an exasperated Kanye puts his head in his hands. This scenario can be seen as how Kanye reacts to those who doubt him. the unstable nature that gets him in trouble with the media, and nearly always regrets his actions later. Kanye talks about falling in love with a porn star on this song, who, in some level, is the equivalent of a popular musician in terms of visibility and exposure.
Turn the level up if you wanna. Turn the camera on, she a porn star.
He loves the idea of it, but his creative self is turning it up a notch by offending people, and Kanye needs to find how to keep this part of him under control. We can also see this as living and learning. Someone just like her, or like Kanye's career, is presented all carved up on a platter. We need to see ourselves butchered before we can learn from our mistakes, the obstacles that eventually shape us, like his infamous car accident that pushed him to create Through the Wire. Her cries continue over the images of the same explosion from before.
Whose fault?
The Phoenix finds some solace in nature, all by herself in the Garden of Eden, much like Kanye spending time in Hawaii after the Taylor Swift drama. John Legend's chorus for Blame Game kicks in. A song about an arguing couple that perfectly encapsulates Kanye's relationship with fame. Her inner turmoil makes her question her purpose. The spectacle that she put on for the dinner guests is a live and learn moment for her, and these are the kind of setbacks needed to discover one's true self. Her innocence is seen in the form of a deer, along with biblical imagery of an apple tree and a lamb. They both look at each other like a distant couple, with a camera gliding around her. Is Kanye the snake in this sacred place? Who's more toxic, the art or the artist? We see their silhouettes under the pink clouds. The Phoenix asks,
all of the statues that we see, where do you think they came from?
She then says the most important line in the film.
Do you know what I hate most about your world? Anything that is different, you try to change. You try to tear it down. You rip the wings off the phoenix and they turn to stone.
Someone took the human essence out of the art and made cold statues, an artist whose creativity is denied and will be remembered just as a block of stone. To be famous is to be stripped of your individuality and be in the clutches of the media's eye. That's what Kanye is frustrated with. A society that is hostile to creativity and innovation in art, that instead consume things that hold no meaning at all. If you don't let your creative fire burn brightly, you're dead inside.
I'm up in the woods. I'm down on my mind.
Her time has come to burn and return back to her world, so that she wouldn't turn into stone herself. Justin Vernon's voice emerges gently as we see images of them making love. This is Kanye forging his masterpiece in Hawaii.
I'm up in the woods. I'm down on my mind. I'm building a still to slow down time.
Bon Iver's Justin Vernon did a similar thing after his breakup. He secluded himself in a cabin in the woods in Wisconsin, planning to hibernate and work on music, like Kanye resetting himself in the Hawaii compound. He wakes up on the roof confused and runs out into the woods to look for his muse. Without the Phoenix, he can never feel free. The song crashes in and we'll see the burning of the Phoenix, or Kanye's original creative self, signifying the rebirth. It represents how Kanye was broken down by the struggles before making this album and is now reborn, broken free, as a new personality with the album's creation and release, a realization of his new self. At first, we can derive the explosion from the car crash earlier, symbolizing the start of a new bond, but by the end, we learn it's in fact the Phoenix burning, something fiery and destructive. With everything that he went through in those 2 years, he was longing for fulfillment and lost in his thoughts. He doesn't fully know what he wants, he just knows that he's missing something.
You're my devil, you're my angel, you're my heaven, you're my hell.
The heavy contrasts highlight the grey areas of life. He's grappling with opposing concepts, because the negative must exist for the good parts of the relationship to hold meaning, down to the bond between artists and their creativity, and also the love between humans. That's how we move forward. The Phoenix shoots into the air with a look of despair on her face, burning herself and becoming comet-like as she rockets away to her world, leaving an anguished Kanye perpetually running after her in hopes for closure. We now get context for this very image we saw at the start of the film, and it's all the more melancholic. Will Kanye continue to be this newly formed person? The simple-minded Phoenix taught him the ways of being an accomplished artist, not through the pleasure of listeners, but in the pleasure of creating great music. This 30-minute film is Kanye's canvas. He exposes himself to the world to see his flaws, and it absolutely completes the album for me. A tale where a hard lesson is learnt for a person with strong talents but has a divisive public persona. He plunges into the surreal and the religious. It's all there. He shows his talent behind the camera too, having a strong understanding of how the visuals and sound can have great synergy, and what we ended up with is a grandiose celebration of art, culture, fame and love, even if it does have a dark tinge. It's fearless, eternal and enduring 10 years on, and it helped usher in a new era of hip-hop, one where we saw less of the bling rap and more of the concept-based lyricism. He created a world you can indulge in, feel with the textures and be attracted to the symbols of classical refinement and aristocracy. If Kanye West takes you on a journey, you better follow him. You'll be mad not to.
People is looking at me like I'm sniffing coke. It ain't funny anymore. Try different jokes. Tell them hug and kiss my ass. X and O. And kiss the ring while they at it. Do my thing while I got it. Play strings for the dramatic. And then of that whack shit. Act like I ain't had a belt in 2 classes. I ain't got it. I'm coming after whoever who has it. I'm coming after whoever who has it. You blowing up. That's good. Fantastic. That, y'all. It's like that, y'all. I don't really give a fuck about it at all. Cause the same people that try to blackball me forgot about 2 things. My black balls.